Good morning. You're listening to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Bruce Zwicker, an industry consultant and former CEO with Haynes. Bruce, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Kemp. Thank you.
Yes, good to talk to you on what I call Turkey Eve. Let's catch up first. I wasn't able to go to the NAFCD meeting, the distributor meeting that was held at the Broadmoor last week. Give us a couple of the highlights of that meeting.
Sure. And I also attended the Total Solutions TSP down in New Orleans a few weeks before that. In both cases, the attendance was strong. The tile folks are doing better than generally flooring is, but the attendance was strong. It was very well organized. Kevin did a great job. And the mood was good. You know, there was no one there wringing their hands, but I think everyone would say the same thing. It's very challenging this year. I would describe it as people persevering. We'll get through this. Some uncertainty around 2024 as to when it's actually going to get better.
You mentioned Kevin. That would be Kevin Gomenly, who is the executive
Correct.
Director of that organization. When you start talking about demand and the sale of flooring, do you think the distributors are maintaining share, picking up share, or losing share? What would you say?
In general, I think distributors are probably losing share in total. You know, when you look at the competition they have from Floor & Decor and Home Depot and Lowe's, and I would put MSI, although they're listed as a distributor with some trade journals, I don't consider them in the same boat really. But in any event, I don't think they lost a ton of share, particularly if you take a look at what happened to Floor & Decor in the fourth quarter. They were down 9.3% in October, down 12%, and they're losing on the DIY side. Everybody is. Home Depot, Lowe's, Floor & Decor. So I think that while they continue to lose share, because I think it's sort of an inevitable thing, there are distributors who are gaining share, but, you know, they're not getting big increases in their revenue on a year-over-year basis, right? But, you know, they are gaining some share. And then other distributors, not so much. So it's kind of a mixed bag. It's just been a tough year for everybody, including these publicly held companies.
So I hear there were about 1,100 attendees at this meeting in Colorado. I guess when business is a little soft, they definitely want to get together as a group and share some details about what parts of the business are doing well, right?
Yeah, and there was a lot of that. And also, you know, they have the economists ITR come in, and they actually spoke twice. And what they described in terms of the big trends on the end use side are what, you know, all of us probably see. You know, the residential remodel it's tough, and the pro is doing better than the DIY. You've got discretionary spending for a high ticket item like flooring is going to get postponed, or they're going to be smaller projects, or you're going to downscale in the product you want. The LIRA, the RMI, all the indices in R&R don't point towards much hope in terms of things getting better anytime soon. They may even go down a little further before they get better. New construction, you know, multifamily, depending on your region, it's going to be tough. Single family homes, I think the NAHB talked about small single-digit increase next year. But we all know that, you know, the types of products are being put in. This is a smaller home, a lower-end home in general. And the commercial, which has been great. So, I mean, everyone who's in commercial is high-fiving. They're doing terrific. But I think we all recognize that the pipeline is holding us up, which, you know, Kemp, you remember in COVID, residential remodel and new went down like a stone, but commercial kept going because of the pipeline. And I think we're seeing the same thing now, but the pipeline isn't necessarily filling at the other end.
So what they're calling for, and I think it was Brian Beaulieu that spoke, is that commercial will continue to be strong into 24, but maybe just a hair softer. Builders bottomed out and might offer a little bit of growth next year, and replacement's going to be until at least the third quarter, and until there's any movement on interest rates, it's going to be where it is, right?
I think that's it. This issue of inventory, which, you know, we've been struggling with because of the big buildup post-COVID, it all came in when demand was going down. I think depending on where you are in the value chain, I think for distributors, the inventories are still too high. Not everybody's in that boat, and everyone has made improvements, so inventories are better. But if the scenario you just described there means slow to lower demand in the aggregate, your inventory is still too high for most folks. So that's going to be a struggle. And of course, what happens on price? You know, price seems to be holding its own more so in tile than in other categories. But we may have hit the bottom on price. But I don't know. If you're Floor & Decor, Home Depot, and Lowe's, I think we're going to see more promotions. In the Mohawk's earnings call, they talked about that as well. So price could be another issue for us. I think it's going to be a tough first half.
What are some other news items altogether?
Well, the other one you saw was the Interiors North America, or INA. There was a story put out about that. We've got some major distributors in there. You're aware of that. And that's really a play for national accounts. And the other one is Home Depot bought International Design Group. We refer to that as IDG. I am or was soon to be past tense by the end of the year, vice chairman of IDG, which is a portfolio company owned by Mill Point Capital in New York.
Let's go back to INA for just a second. The three distributors who are involved there are Belknap, Haynes, and Tri-West, and All Surfaces. And they've put together, a selling office and offering national scope of distribution using those three firms, right?
Right. And if you go online and you can find it, Interiors North America, you'll see that it's a limited product offering, mostly LVP and some laminate. It's not like selling displays to dealers all across the country in a product selection. It's not that kind of thing. Yeah. And they've been doing it for a while, probably for a couple, 3 years now, but it's now become visible.
All right, back to IDG. That's big news, especially since Home Depot, just bought Ready Carpet. So they're on the move and buying up to take some market share. Let's get a little bit into their business. What do you think? Is that about a $500 million business, the IDG business?
Yeah, that's about right.
And what percentage of that do you think is flooring?
The flooring would probably be around 10 or 12%. Most of that is tile.
All right. So they're in the appliance business, the slab business, the tile business. They've been an entity, been around for a while, right?
Yeah, Construction Resources is the big horse in this portfolio. It started with Canco's Tile and Stone in April of 2022, and then we purchased CR, Construction Resources, in Atlanta in September last year. And then more recently bought Trages, which is a pure play in the countertop business. So now it's a total East Coast play, the countertop side of the business, which is the biggest part of IDG. And their model is serving fabricators, serving the public, pros. So I think Home Depot was interested in that model of being able to service pros and the fact that we've got all these showrooms. So yes, Home Depot is clearly on the move.
Okay, well, Bruce, thanks for giving us an update. It's a good time to kind of wrap up what's been going on in the month of November here with Thanksgiving just around the corner.
Yeah, it'll be great to have a little rest.
Yeah, it will. Again, been talking to Bruce Zwicker, a consultant in the flooring business, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.